Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to jump right in and journey back in time. Today we're looking at a truly remarkable piece of history. It's a story that shows us how real strength isn't just about, physical bravery. It's actually about having a massive, forgiving heart.
So let's kick things off with a question. What is the kindest thing you've ever done? Really think about it for a second. When was the last time you shared something incredibly precious with someone who desperately needed it? Now, it's pretty easy to be kind to our best friends, right? But sharing something you need with someone who might actually be against you, well, hold on to that thought as we see how one historical figure handled that exact situation.
Okay, so our story begins with Imam Hussain traveling across a vast, endless desert. And it's important to note, his caravan was not an army. It was just his family, his closest friends, and their horses. They were just making a long, peaceful, but totally exhausting journey toward a place called Karbala.
Now picture this. Imagine the absolute, intense heat of the midday sun just beating down on them. The historical accounts tell us the desert sand literally felt like fire. Everyone was incredibly thirsty. And out there, miles from anywhere, water isn't just a drink. It's literally the most precious treasure in the world. Every single drop is a matter of survival.
Then all of a sudden, one of the Imam's companions calls out. They point way out at the horizon, absolutely convinced they see a cool green oasis of palm trees. You can almost feel that wave of relief, right? Thinking, oh man, finally, shade and fresh water.
But as they get a bit closer, the local guides start shaking their heads. They know this land like the back of their hand, and there are absolutely no trees out here. Zero. So what on earth are they looking at? Well, as the shapes come into focus, they realize those aren't palm branches at all. They're the shiny spears and tall horses of an approaching army. An army of 1,000 men.
Now, this army, which was led by a commander named Hur, was actually sent specifically to intercept and block Imam Hussein's caravan. But here's the crazy part. Hur's army of 1,000 soldiers had been marching through that exact same blazing heat for a really long time. By the time they actually reached the Imam, they were completely wiped out, just absolutely dying of thirst.
So here's the ultimate dilemma. The Imam has a very limited supply of precious water for his own family and his small group of friends. And right in front of him stands a massive opposing army sent to stop him, but they're basically collapsing from thirst. Put yourself in his shoes. What would you do? Let's be real. Most people would probably guard their water to protect their own family, right? But instead of getting angry or preparing for a fight, Imam Hussain gives this incredible historic instruction to his companions. He tells his youth, give them water to drink, and give their horses water too. Just like that, no hesitation. He sees humans and animals in desperate need, and his immediate instinctual response is pure mercy.
This just brilliantly illustrates the Imam's massive heart. In fact, he didn't just give the order. The Imam himself physically helped an exhausted soldier drink from a water skin. Imagine that. He is literally serving the very people sent to oppose him with his own hands. And they didn't just give out a tiny sip to be polite either. They made absolutely sure every single soldier drank until they were totally full. And it gets even better. They actually brought water to all the exhausted, thirsty horses too. They made sure that not a single living creature in that opposing army went without.
Which perfectly brings us to a really important concept for today's explainer, compassion. What we just witnessed in this story, that is the ultimate definition of compassion. It's about caring deeply about people who are suffering and actually taking action to help them, even if they aren't your friends, even if they're actively standing against you.
Now, the story gets even more profound from here. When it was time for the afternoon prayer, all that hostility just melted away for a moment. Both groups, the Imam's peaceful caravan and Hur's 1,000-man army, actually stood completely peacefully and prayed together. Hur and his men prayed right there, right behind Imam Hussain.
Right after praying, Imam Hussain stood up in front of that entire crowd, and he calmly spoke about why he was making this journey. He made it clear he wasn't there to pick a fight. He explained that he was simply standing up against unfairness, and he wanted to make sure people remembered what true justice actually looked like. He bravely told them he would never, ever support a cruel or unjust ruler. And by doing this, he was showing them something crucial. Even when you are incredibly kind and forgiving, you still have to stand strong for what is true and right. And you know what? That opposing army listened respectfully to his words. They were totally moved by the character of the man who had just saved them from the brutal desert heat.
And that right there shows us the Imam's absolute integrity.
Integrity means always doing what is right and speaking the truth, no matter how hard or scary the situation might be. Think about it. He was gentle enough to give his life-saving water away, but brave enough to never back down from the truth. It proves that those two qualities, compassion and integrity, can absolutely go hand in hand.
So, I'm going to leave you with this thought as we wrap up our explainer today. How can you use compassion and integrity in your own life to make things just a little bit better? Who can you show kindness to today, even if it feels really hard? Think on that. Thanks so much for hanging out and exploring this amazing story with me. Keep learning, keep being kind, and I'll catch you in the next one.